The lights inside Arlington, Texas, seemed to change the moment Jungkook stepped onto the stage. What had already been an enormous night for BTS suddenly became something even more unforgettable as the youngest member once again captured the attention of the audience with a powerful, precise, and emotionally charged dance performance during the ARIRANG concert. Across the stadium, thousands of fans appeared completely locked onto the stage, watching every movement as Jungkook transformed the performance into a moment that felt larger than the music itself. His presence, his confidence, his explosive energy, and his ability to combine technical precision with natural charisma created the kind of stage moment that fans have been waiting for. For ARMY in Arlington, this was not simply another concert performance. It was one of those moments that instantly becomes part of the memory of a tour. The ARIRANG era has already given BTS countless unforgettable performances, but Jungkook's appearance in Arlington once again demonstrated why he remains one of the most talked about performers in the group. As the opening sounds filled the stadium and the lights moved across the enormous venue, anticipation grew louder with every second. Fans raised their phones, light sticks illuminated the crowd, and thousands of voices joined together as BTS appeared before them. Yet when Jungkook moved into the center of the choreography, the atmosphere seemed to intensify. His movements were sharp without appearing forced, powerful without losing elegance, and energetic enough to make the entire performance feel alive. There was a sense that he was not simply following choreography, but completely inhabiting it. Every turn, every step, every change in direction appeared connected to the rhythm. That ability has long been one of Jungkook's strongest qualities as a performer. He can make highly complicated choreography look effortless, and that illusion of effortlessness is precisely what makes his performances so compelling. In Arlington, fans witnessed another example of that ability. The stage became a space where Jungkook could communicate without saying a single word. His body language carried confidence, excitement, determination, and emotion simultaneously. At certain moments, his movements were aggressive and explosive. At others, he slowed down and allowed the music to control the atmosphere. That contrast made the performance especially captivating. Rather than relying on one expression or one style, Jungkook moved through different emotions within the same sequence, giving the choreography a cinematic quality. The audience response reflected the impact. Cheers rose throughout the stadium whenever Jungkook hit a particularly difficult movement or delivered a powerful expression toward the crowd. Some fans appeared stunned by the precision of his performance, while others simply screamed his name. Social media quickly became part of the story as clips and reactions began circulating among fans who were eager to share their favorite moments. For many ARMY, the performance became another reminder of why Jungkook's dancing continues to receive so much attention. His talent is not limited to executing choreography correctly. What separates him is his ability to make choreography feel personal. He does not appear disconnected from the music. Instead, every movement seems to emerge naturally from a beat. That quality was particularly visible in Arlington. As the music intensified, Jungkook's movements became increasingly dynamic, and the crowd responded with an equally powerful wave of energy. It was a perfect exchange between performer and audience. The fans gave him their attention, their voices, and their enthusiasm, while Jungkook responded by giving everything he had to the stage. The result was an atmosphere that felt almost electric. The Arlington concert itself represented another major chapter in BTS's ARIRANG journey. After months of anticipation, fans across the United States have been following the group's tour closely, watching each performance and waiting to see what surprises would emerge at the next stop. Every city developed its own atmosphere, and Arlington was no exception. Texas is known for its enormous venues, passionate crowds, and distinctive concert culture, and the army gathered there appeared determined to make the night memorable. The scale of the venue only amplified the spectacle. Massive screens displayed the members from different angles. Stage lighting moved in synchronization with the music, and the audience created a sea of lights that stretched across the stadium. In the middle of all of this, Jungkook's dancing became one of the defining visual moments of the night. What made the performance particularly interesting was the balance between the enormous production surrounding him and the simplicity of his physical expression. Even when dozens of lights, screens, dancers, and effects were operating simultaneously, Jungkook remained visually compelling. That is a difficult quality for any performer to achieve. A stadium stage can easily become overwhelming, with so many elements competing for attention. Yet, Jungkook has an ability to command focus even in the middle of a highly elaborate production. His posture, facial expressions, timing, and movement quality naturally draw the eye toward him. In Arlington, that quality was unmistakable. When the choreography entered its most intense section, the audience reaction grew louder. Jungkook appeared completely immersed in the performance, maintaining control even as the choreography demanded speed and physical strength. His movements were clean and deliberate, but there was also a sense of freedom. He seemed comfortable enough to add his own personality to the choreography, creating tiny details that made the performance feel different from a simple repetition of rehearsed movements. Those details are often what fans notice most. A slight change in expression, a particular body angle, a quick turn, or a moment when he connects directly with the audience can become the focus of thousands of conversations online. Jungkook understands how to use those moments. His stage presence is not only about physical power, it is also about awareness. He knows where the cameras are, where the audience is, and how to make a moment visually memorable. That combination of technical ability and instinct has helped establish him as one of BTS's most recognizable performers. Arlington offered another opportunity for that reputation to shine. The reaction from fans was immediate and emotional. Many ARMY members had waited a long time to see BTS perform in person, and seeing Jungkook deliver such an energetic dance performance created an especially strong emotional response. For some fans, the moment was about witnessing an artist they had followed for years finally standing directly in front of them. For others, it was about seeing Jungkook continue to grow as a performer. The youngest member who debuted as a teenager has now developed into an artist capable of commanding one of the world's biggest stages with remarkable confidence. His journey is visible whenever he performs. The youthful excitement that once defined many of his early stages has evolved into something more mature. He still possesses enormous energy, but it is now accompanied by control and experience. He knows how to pace himself. He understands how to build anticipation. He knows when to explode into a movement and when to hold back. That maturity was visible throughout the Arlington performance. There was no sense of hesitation. Instead, Jungkook appeared fully committed to the moment. His confidence was particularly noticeable in his transitions. Difficult choreography often becomes visibly challenging when performers move from one sequence to another, but Jungkook maintained fluidity. One movement seemed to naturally lead into the next, creating a continuous visual rhythm. That fluidity is one of the characteristics that makes his dancing so appealing to audiences beyond traditional K-pop fandom. His style combines elements of hip-hop, contemporary movement, pop choreography, and performance-oriented dance, allowing him to adapt to different musical moods. During the ARIRANG concert, those qualities were integrated into BTS's larger performance style. The choreography was not simply designed to look impressive. It was designed to communicate the emotional world of the music. Jungkook's role within that choreography was therefore more than simply executing steps. He became part of the storytelling. Every movement contributed to the atmosphere. When the music became darker, his expressions became more intense. When the rhythm opened up, his movements became broader. When the beat accelerated, his body responded with greater speed. The result was a performance that felt alive rather than mechanical. This distinction matters because technically correct dancing does not automatically create an emotional performance. A dancer can execute every step perfectly and still leave an audience feeling distant. Jungkook has consistently demonstrated the opposite. He can make audiences feel that he is emotionally present. That emotional presence was one of the biggest reasons his Arlington performance resonated so strongly. Fans were not simply watching a dancer. They were watching an artist communicate through movement. The stadium environment amplified that communication. Thousands of people reacted simultaneously, creating a collective energy that performers can feel on stage. For Jungkook, that energy seemed to become fuel. The louder the audience became, the more intensity he appeared to bring into his performance. It created a feedback loop between stage and crowd. Every powerful movement produced cheers, and every cheer seemed to encourage even more energy. By the time the performance reached its peak, the atmosphere inside the stadium had become overwhelming. Fans could be heard screaming, singing, and cheering as Jungkook delivered the choreography with full force. It was the kind of moment that makes live concerts different from watching a performance on a screen. A video can capture the image, but it cannot fully reproduce the physical sensation of thousands of people reacting at the same time. In Arlington, the collective reaction became part of the performance itself. Jungkook's dancing was not happening in isolation. It was happening inside a stadium filled with people who had emotional connections to BTS and to him personally. That connection transformed the choreography into something larger. For many fans, seeing Jungkook perform, even after intense dance sections, he remained engaged. That stamina is particularly impressive considering the scale of a world tour. Performing one concert at full intensity is difficult. Doing it repeatedly across different cities, time zones, climates, and venues is an entirely different challenge. The ARIRANG tour requires not only talent, but endurance, discipline, and adaptability. Arlington was another test of those qualities, and Jungkook appeared ready for it. His performance suggested that he has developed the physical and mental tools necessary to handle the pressure of a massive tour. There's also something symbolic about Jungkook commanding attention through dance in Texas. BTS has spent years crossing cultural and geographic boundaries. Their music has reached audiences who may not speak Korean, but understand the emotion and energy of the performance. Dance becomes an especially powerful universal language in that context. A movement does not require translation. A facial expression does not require subtitles. Rhythm can connect people instantly. Jungkook's Arlington performance demonstrated that universal quality. The audience did not need to analyze every technical detail to understand that something special was happening. They felt it. The cheers, screams, and synchronized reactions became proof of that connection. This is one of the reasons live BTS concerts have such a strong emotional effect. They transform music from an individual listening experience into a collective event. Everyone in the stadium becomes part of the performance. Jungkook's dance served as a focal point within that collective experience. The more powerful his performance became, the more powerful the crowd's reaction became. It was almost as though the stage and audience were communicating through energy. For a performer, that kind of response can be incredibly motivating. It can make a difficult sequence feel easier because the audience gives energy back. Jungkook appeared to embrace that energy. Rather than pulling back, he seemed to lean into the excitement. His performance grew increasingly confident as the crowd became louder. By the climax, it was clear that Arlington had become another major Jungkook moment. The significance of the performance also lies in what it says about BTS's continued ability to create spectacle without losing individuality. Large-scale concerts can sometimes make individual members disappear into production. BTS avoids that by giving each member moments where their unique strengths can shine. Jungkook's dance was one of those moments. The production created the environment, but he supplied the emotional center. His presence turned choreography into storytelling. This balance between group identity and individual expression is one of the reasons BTS concerts remain compelling. Fans come for BTS as a group, but they also come to see the personalities and talents of each member. Jungkook's performance allowed fans to celebrate both. He represented BTS while simultaneously showing what makes him unique. That dual identity is central to his appeal. He is part of one of the world's biggest groups, but he also has a distinctive identity as a performer. In Arlington, those two sides came together naturally. Another reason the performance stood out was its emotional undertone. Although the choreography was energetic, there was something deeper in the way Jungkook approached the stage.